I wonder if the bass miss me as much as I miss them. What's up, guys? It is another episode of Ken Arnold Fishing. As you can see, we're not on the lake today. We will be really soon. It's getting really good. The fish are starting to come up shallow to spawn, and it's going to be a good time. So be on the lookout for those videos. But first of all, I wanted to make another little tips and tricks video on a lure that might actually do really well during the spawn. So, if any of you guys have watched or been with me over this past year, you know that I made a video on the Ned Rig. The Ned Rig, for whatever reason, at the time was getting really popular. I'm not sure exactly why. I'm not sure if it was because the time of year or what. I just know that it was a rig that I had never heard about, I had never seen it before, and then it was introduced to me. I actually went out and filmed a video how to fish it, and in my intro you can see it, but I'm going to play a little clip right here. So after that little segment was filmed, you could tell that I was pretty dang hooked on the Ned Rig. In the video I talked about a few different things, how to fish it and all that. And if you want to know how to fish it, go check out the video. I've still got it on my channel. It was about a year ago, so go check that out. But at the time, I wasn't using the real Ned Rig mushroom Z-Man heads that Z-Man made specifically for this bait. I was using a cheap Wal-Mart, not really a knockoff, but it was a different, it was kind of different than the legit Ned Rig heads that became popular at the time. But in the video, I talked about the heads that Wal-Mart sold, because that was all I had at the time. And I wasn't exactly happy with them. It was a thicker gauge hook, and the little keeper wasn't exactly the way that I wanted it. It was a little bit big. It'd tear up your baits. It was just a mess. But I put them in the video anyway because that's what I was using. That's how I was catching fish. In the video, that's what I was catching fish on. And soon after, I was actually introduced by my buddy Kevin to the real mushroom heads. He sent me a package of them, and I had, I think it's like a 4-pack or a 5-pack. I don't remember how much Z-Man sent you. They weren't that many, and fishing on the bottom like you have to do with a Ned Rig, you really lose a lot of them if you're in the right places. It's like a crankbait. If you're losing them, you're probably in the right place. That's how that deal went through. I ended up losing all my heads around May, June, around that area. I haven't really fished with them much since then because I haven't needed to. I've been on a crankbait bite, I've been frogging all summer, all that fun stuff. But I went back yesterday to Walmart because I needed something. I don't remember what it was. And I got to thinking that it's Ned Rig time. I should have been tossing this all winter or whatever. And I wasn't doing it. So I decided I would go back and check out where the original Ned Rigs were, the Ned Rig heads that I used. And I guess, I don't know if Walmart saw my video or if Arky, the people that made them, saw my video. But they actually went back and got something, made something. I don't know if they were made before or not. But now Walmart produces these. These are really similar to the mushroom heads that Z-Man sells. But honestly, I kind of like these a little bit more. They kind of remind me of like a football jig mixed in with a real Ned Rig head. Here's what they look like. I don't know if you can see that very well or not. But they're pretty cool. They're really just like the Shrooms head that Z-Man sells. They got the same style of keeper on the back. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can see that. And it actually has a lighter wire hook than the normal ones. When I first saw these, I was kind of skeptical. I didn't know, you know, if Walmart was trying to knock them off and make like an inferior product that ultimately just sucked. So I grabbed a box just to see, because I was curious. If not, I could use them for something else. I could swim a crawfish with them or something. I bought a pack, assuming they probably wouldn't stand upright. They probably wouldn't do exactly what I need. But I was very wrong on this. Very, very wrong. As soon as I opened the package, they all sprung to life like this. They all sit up. Like if you take it and you close it like this, that one's sticking out. But if you close it and you open it, they all just stick up like that. And that's exactly what you want with a Ned Rig. You want your lure to stick up. Similar, looking like a feeding bluegill or a feeding baitfish of some sort. Now, as I mentioned, these baits would probably, if I can speak, be really good for the spawn because they look like a feeding bluegill. Bass hate bluegills on their bed. I just dropped that. And it looks like a predator to the bass. Any time of year, especially in ponds and such, you can catch fish on this. But right about now is whenever I'm really going to be focusing towards this a little more. If you don't know what a Ned Rig is by now, I'm going to show you. This is pretty much what the finished product looks like. As you can see, I have the head on a Senko that's half bitten off. Z-Man actually makes a worm for this application. It's called the TRD, the Real Deal. If you don't know about Z-Man, their plastics are it's called Elastec, and the Elastec floats, which is what you want with a Ned Rig. You want it to float and look like a baitfish just feeding. In my case, this looks similar to a bluegill. I'll be throwing this in a pond later on, or I'll get a white one, stick it out on Kentucky, and call it a shad. It'll work. Now, in this case, this is a Senko. Actually, it's a Yum Dinger that got bit off, not a Senko. These don't float. This plastic is actually this one in particular is dense. It's pretty dense. So it's not going to float. It's going to have more of a, whenever you stick it on a weightless worm, it sinks. So it's not going to float. That's where this head comes into play. And I like this head a lot more than the actual shrooms because it sits up. Whenever you stick the bait down in the water, it will sit straight up and down like this, and it'll look like a baitfish. So that's something that's really important in fishing this bait. With these, I like these a little bit better because you don't have to have that Elastec to make it work. And honestly, you don't even really have to have the bait standing up. I've caught plenty of fish on the other ones that don't sit straight up, just dragging it on the bottom. But this one is a little bit different just because it sits up. It does what it's supposed to do. That's what the technique was pretty much formed for, and that's what you get out of it. So that's pretty much it. I want to show you guys that there's an alternative to the real shrooms head that Z-Man offers. That's it for this episode of Kendall Arnold Fishing. I have a sweet haircut, by the way. I know a lot of people don't like it, but it's pretty sweet to me. It'll be pretty cool because my hair's blonde and this hair's dyed black. But anyway, so I want to thank you guys for watching. I'll watch you guys. I will see you right here on this channel, Kendall Arnold Fishing. Bye, guys.